For many weeks, we've had a modified mode of worship at New Center Christian Church. Near the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak in North Carolina, we halted our traditional mode of worship inside the sanctuary. We first moved to a completely digital offering through Facebook and YouTube. Because we have some people without internet, we created New Center Radio, which allowed our people to listen to our services from their cell phones or even from a dial-up telephone number. As the weeks went on, we began to search for equipment to allow us to do drive-in services. Equipment was hard to come by and still is, as audio-video equipment and especially radio transmitters are in extreme demand. Last month, we were finally able to make that happen thanks to friends here locally and in Oklahoma. We've been blessed with some tremendous services while being confined to our vehicles. While all this has been going on, our governor had announced a plan for North Carolina to reopen. In none of those phases did he allow more than 25 people in a church. That discrimination against houses of worship ruffled my feathers. I vigorously advocated for our rights to self-determine our plan for reopening and argued vociferously that the government had no such authority over churches. A federal judge agreed with my viewpoint and with those who sued the governor. As a result, the governor withdrew all restrictions on religious gatherings. Our right to reopen was secured. That victory allowed churches to reopen immediately. A few days later, President Donald Trump issued a declaration declaring all churches essential and requiring governors to allow churches to reopen. Even though our right to reopen was affirmed, we did not reopen immediately. All I wanted was the right to self-determine. I stated that me and my leadership, which is my board of deacons, were responsible enough to make that decision when and how to reopen the sanctuary. And so here we are on this first week of June. Tomorrow is the first Sunday of June. The year is nearly half over. This nation has been shut down. The economy's at rock bottom, and I believe there are riots in the streets because the pews have been empty. Capitalism and commerce is in full force while Christianity is still stifled. Look at what has happened to the United States while the sanctuary has gone dark. It is time to reopen. It's time for those doors which have been shut to open wide. It's time for God's people to ascend the steps and enter in. It's time to recapture the wonder of the sanctuary. It's time to remount the pulpit. It's time to turn on the lights on the inside that it may dispel the darkness of this day. I feel like Joshua preparing Israel for crossing the Jordan and entering the promised land. It had been in their sight for months. Now they were about to cross over. Joshua readied the priests, positioned the trumpeters, made ready the musicians, anointed some men to set up a memorial, and readied the people, but there was still a huge obstacle in the way. The Jordan River was at flood stage. It was wide and it was deep. It was swift and dangerous. It reminds me that we are still not in the clear. There is still a pox on this world. There's still a pestilence in our land. But we will step forward and trust that the one who parted the waters to will protect us as we enter into that promised land that is our sanctuary. We will take every precaution to be responsible and safe. We will have one service at 11 a.m. Families should sit together and everyone should spread out in the sanctuary. To provide more room, the television in the large Sunday school rooms will be on and people can gather there. Additionally, there will be televisions in the fellowship hall for everyone for even more room to socially distance. Songbooks will be removed. There'll be no formal fellowship, no choir, no congregational singing, no passing of the offering plates. We'll continue to receive offerings in containers at the doors as you exit. Hand sanitizer and masks will be made available while supplies last. And if you wish to wear a mask, you're encouraged to do so. If you don't feel comfortable in the sanctuary or in one of the overflow locations, the speakers and the radio transmitter will be outside operating. Services will continue to be streamed on Facebook, YouTube, and New Center Radio. Reopening the sanctuary is not meant to isolate or separate. It's meant to unite us at this time of great division. If you're sick or if you feel unwell, please stay at home. If you're at high risk or feel uncomfortable in any way, please do what you think is best. We love you and we miss you. And so tomorrow, we'll enter in through those doors. We'll enter into His gates with thanksgiving and we'll enter into His courts with praise. I don't know that I've ever been so eager to go to church as I am for tomorrow. I hope to see you there.